All people must have insulin. Insulin works to lower blood sugar by moving the sugar out of the blood and into the cells of the body where it can then be used for energy. In a person without diabetes, the pancreas makes insulin 24 hours a day to keep the blood sugar normal. Their pancreas also makes more insulin while eating to keep the blood sugar level normal and help them use their carbohydrates for energy. There are several different insulin plans available. The goal of your plan is for the diabetes team to find one for you that will match the action of a pancreas that produces a normal amount of insulin. In type 2 diabetes, you may need extra insulin to help normalize your sugars, even though you're still making some insulin. Knowing your insulin plan and how the insulins work will help you balance your sugars and activity on a daily basis. Insulin comes in many different types and varies in 3 different ways. Onset, how long it takes for the insulin to start working. Peak, when the insulin is working at its best. Duration, how long the insulin works in the body. Long-acting or basal insulins work for about 24 hours and do not peak. They are usually given with an insulin pen and can be given at the same time as the rapid-acting insulin, but cannot be mixed with other insulins. Rapid-acting or bolus insulins have an onset of 15 minutes, peak in 1 to 2 hours, and work in the body for about 3 to 4 hours. The regimen you will be educated on is a mix of a long-acting insulin with a rapid-acting insulin. There are 2 main types of long-acting insulin, Lantus and Levemir. Both of these insulins work for about 24 hours and do not peak. Their onset of action is 3 to 4 hours. It is important to give your long-acting insulin at the same time every day to ensure a steady level in your body. Both of these insulins are clear in color. 3 different types of rapid-acting insulins are currently available: Novolog, Apidra, and Humalog. These insulins begin working in your body in about 15 minutes, peak in 1 to 2 hours, and stay in your body for up to 4 hours. Your fast-acting insulin should be given at a mealtime to help get your blood sugar back to target if needed, and also to help you use your carbohydrates for energy. Rapid-acting insulin should only be given at a mealtime on a typical day. On days that your child is sick, they may require increased doses and more frequent injections. Using an insulin pen is a simple way to inject insulin. Your nurse will instruct you on how to use these pens. Some general points to know. Make sure you have cleaned your hands before you prepare and give your injection. Clean the tip of the insulin cartridge with an alcohol wipe. Place a disposable one-time use pen needle on the tip of the cartridge. Be sure to prime your needle with 2 units to ensure the pen is working correctly and there is insulin throughout the pen needle. Dial to your dose. Now you're ready to give an injection. Now let's review where all injections can be given. Insulin injections can be given in the following places and need to be injected into an area where a small amount of fat can be pinched up: abdomen, back of arms, outer thighs, upper outer portion of hip. Always remember to rotate injections among all sites to prevent scarring and poor absorption. If an injection is given over and over in the same spot, it can get puffy and lumpy, scarred, and the insulin may not absorb as well as it should. It is also important to know that the area an injection is given affects how fast the insulin is absorbed and starts to lower the blood sugars, so you will be asked to pick a general area to stick with for each meal. Each pre-filled pen contains 300 units of insulin, and each pen will last varying lengths of time depending on how much insulin you use. Be sure not to run out of insulin. It is a good idea to keep 2 weeks' worth of insulin and supplies on hand so that you don't run out. Once in use, that pen is good for 28 days only. After that time period, the insulin can start to break down and not work well. If there is insulin left in a pen after it has been used for 28 days, throw it out as it may not work properly. Store unused pens in the refrigerator. Once in use, they may be stored at room temperature or in the refrigerator. Do not expose your pens to extreme temperatures like a freezer, resting directly on ice, or a hot car during the summer. You should also obtain a sharps container to dispose of used needles. You can ask your pharmacy how to obtain a sharps container and process for disposal.